You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
I just thought I'd give you some breaking news. The Pope is dead. Did you know that?
Sorry for laughing, but
No, we're not laughing. How much coverage?
No, I was laughing because that's why I didn't expect you to come out with that.
Yeah, well, he's
straight
dead.
off the top. I thought you'd talk about the courage of me being in here with.
I'm going to get.
Gastro.
I'm just covering the Pope.
Yes, no, the
first.
Pope passed away.
And
Very sad for a lot of people.
I said it had on the news report, I think it was on 7, they crossed over to the Vatican and they said, the Pope's lying in his coffin, looks very much at peace. Well, you would, wouldn't you, if you're dead? If you're lying in a coffin, you'd look at peace, wouldn't you?
You would have thought so.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I saw some vision of him, the days leading up, because obviously Easter and all of the different things that he had to do over that weekend, and he didn't look well, did he? He looked very fragile.
Been in hospital for a month.
I know, but that's what I mean. He didn't look well.
Maybe he just hung
fragile.
on till Easter.
It's quite amazing that the timing of it all. But no, very sad for a lot of people. Sam, I'm not a religious man, so to speak, as we said last week.
No.
I've got. I think there might be someone be naive to think that there wasn't there a higher power, but
And I'm just getting this out of the way.
Yep.
I'm sending a cheerio, a shout out to Steve and Moira.
Stephen
Moira. Stephen and Moira. They listen. They come from South Australia. They drive across every now and again and listen to the podcast. Steve used to be called Gino, but I think he's just going for a more Anglo name. I don't know, but Steve and Moira.
Stephen Moira. Steve, I hope he's changed his name for no other reason. Generally,
Well, I don't know why he's changed his name.
You got a name change or you got two phones, you might be up to...
They are the father and mother of a girl that Sue and I know called Emma.
Actually,
and Josh.
I would like to say the other day I was standing on the side street near the Albert Park Hotel. Wasn't at the Albert Park Hotel, but I was standing on the side, and this ute pulled up. He came onto the other side of the road, like swerved over. He had him and his girlfriend. And they were listening to the podcast the car at that exact time. Middle of the day, I don't know what day it was, Thursday or Friday last week or whatever.
We have that many people say they listen. You might have heard, so we have a bloke called Dick from Muff, Richard Wollstonecroft. Yep. I rounded him up last week and wow, did we get some comments about how unfair I was to Dick. He's coming in today.
Is he?
Yeah, I said, you better bring some to the table, Dick, now that Ben Fordham's not coming on every fortnight, and I tore him a new one. And, well, did they go berserk, all his followers. And also I'm giving one final shout-out. This is from Mick Christian Menswear, formerly of Michael Christian Menswear. This is to Alistister Lennon of the Sunshine Coast. The Sunshine Coast? Alistister Lennon. I don't know why I'm giving him a shout-out, but Mick Christian asked us to send him a shout-out, Alistister Lennon.
Alistister Lennon. Hey, you...
Alistair Kennan. I am so sorry. Did I... Alistair Kennan. I beg your pardon,
you
Al.
got into me for saying Smeetsy or whatever his name was.
Alistair Kennan. I couldn't read my writing.
Kennan.
Now,
Kennan.
you're just... you're ill.
I'm not... Well, I just sort of noticed I am a bit pale. I haven't been well for 2 days.
Noticed. Don't worry, I've noticed you're not worrying about being on camera anymore. The last time I said you're on camera, you shaved and you bloody had your hair done. Now you just look like a heap of shit.
I've been in bed for 2 days.
Have you?
I got up just for you. I'll get here, do this. I've cancelled all my other appointments.
You got the squirts?
I have. You know what? It's actually quite a good feeling.
What, to have the squirts?
Yes.
Well, please don't do it on my chair.
No, but look,
why
I
is
don't
it a
mean
good
to gross
feeling
anyone
to have
out.
Squirts?
It's a nice feeling when you're doing it. It feels, I don't know.
You're an amazing person. Piss in a pool. Squirt. You enjoy having diarrhea. I've never heard. You're an amazing person.
I did get a tweet from some dude saying that he said that he was a listener to you for 5 years, and ever since I've come on, he said he's stopped. He goes, you're a wanker, so I liked it. I said, thank you.
Yeah.
So there you go. I had a negative tweet.
You have negative tweets. You want to see what they say about me. And I I don't engage, but sometimes I do. When I get a real bad one, I say, thanks for listening. It's extraordinary. The mentality of it is extraordinary.
I just like it.
It's the
I like it.
mentality of it is extraordinary. Now, I've got 5 things I want to ask you.
Yes,
They're
okay.
to do with sport.
Yep.
And we have, I think, have we not got one of the legends of the AFL? He's almost synonymous with the war, this man.
Yep.
He's a ex-coach and an ex-player,
Yep.
and he's a legend of the AFL.
Legend.
He's coming in, and I reckon he's bigger than the Anzac Day himself.
Well, I think Kevin Sheedy is, and we're going to talk to him. But we'll talk about him before he comes in, and that is there has been no bigger promoter
All right.
of the AFL than Kevin Sheedy. I think he has
Yes.
done more for the AFL than any other individual.
Hence, he's a legend.
And I'm talking about, the great Ronald Dale Barassi and
Yes.
E.J. Whitten and, the Polly Farmers of the world and what he did for the game and changing the game, handball, so many things. But off the ground, I'm talking about, and on the ground. Remember, four-time
Coach,
premiership player. I think definitely 4-time
As
coach.
I said to him, if you coach a side for 27 years, you're probably going to win 4 or 5 premierships, aren't you?
I tell you what, though, and this is
Great days.
This is why, and we'll talk to Sheeds when he's in here. They're hard to win premierships. They were the best side for 3 years, and in 99, 2000, 2001, and they only won the one flag.
Okay, so this is one of the subjects I was going to talk to you about. The decline in standard of our game is palpable. I won't use that word. It's moribund, which it is. The decline of our game, I don't care how exciting they are, how close they are, the decline of our once great game is a disgrace.
I'll sum up when people come to me, and someone came to me just the other day and they said, gee, what about his form and how well's he playing? There is a reason why Tom Hawkins got better at the end of his career. There's Tex Walker has got better in the last 3 years. So we're talking about key position players all got better right at the end of their career. You've got, Paddy Dangerfield, obviously Paddy, but he's at the end of his career. There's the reason why these players are playing better now because the game is that diluted, and the game is not as strong as it once was.
What a very good
There
comment.
are more teams in the competition. It is diluted. So therefore the talent pool is spread across more, and we're going to bring in another team, remember? So all of a sudden, that is the reason why these players get better.
Despite the way the game is played.
And I said this the other week on this podcast, and that is you would not want to be a defender. The free kicks that forwards are getting now, like I said, you want to if you're going to play footy in the modern day, come back as a midfielder and a forward. Don't come back as a defender because the
great Doug Hawkins, who is always welcome here, and I've said, Doug, anytime you're not holding the sign up to tell people not to drive there because he's a lollipop boy, man, doing a good job. I said, come in here, please, and he's welcome anytime. But he said in here when he was in once, he said if he was coach, he would tell his players not to tackle anyone. Just don't tackle. He said you'll go far further in the game if you don't tackle someone than if you do. And I don't care what anyone who's as a scribe who is paid to give comments because they're obliged to pump up the game they're watching from their employer or their sponsors. The game is unwatchable. It is great and exciting, and the crowds are up, and no one gives us. Watch how the game's played, it is.
I would like someone to watch. By the way, when we say this, when you and I talk about the game, and we don't agree on everything, but when we do talk about the game, and that's not to say we haven't made mistakes. Obviously, on the football field. We've fumbled, we've missed marks, we've missed kicks, we've done all of that. Watch everyone's calling it one of the great games, Easter Monday, with Hawthorn and Geelong. Yes. They're saying what a great game, and everyone, and you even Jason Dunstall and everyone saying, it was just captivating, and you just couldn't take your eyes off. I've never seen a bunch of blokes choke more in the last 10 minutes of a game in the history. You could not, and the good players were spraying it off the side of their boot when they had a shot at goal. You had Sicily dropping, the captain of Hawthorn couldn't take a mark, he couldn't catch a cold, couldn't have caught COVID if he tried it on the weekend. It was deplorable, the skills, the fumbles in the last 10 minutes of that game. Once again, yes, I've fumbled in a game and I've made mistakes and I've missed easy goals. So that's not to say we haven't done it, but it was great. It was fascinating because of the closeness of it. But it was
exciting,
so
but to watch it
fumbly.
And the reason it happens is that when the pressure comes on, those short kicks become more pressure to kick to someone who's got a metre on his opponent, instead of driving the ball, not just bombing it long, driving it down the ground to a couple of people in the same coloured jumper who are one out with their opponent, and then have the little guys come in, the smaller utilities come in and grab the crumbs. They keep chipping it round, and the more you chip it round, the more chances you have of fumbling the ball or dropping it. It is mindless.
Well, while we're on that, I've got a confession to make, and that is, so Carter, we sat there on Good Friday, sat down, I made him sit down. I thought, you know what?
At the game?
No, because I knew it was going to be too busy. Sat in front of the TV. Carter's 6, he's decided he's going for North Melbourne, right? So he gets his Auskick stuff, he's got all his North gear and took him to a practice game earlier this year, as you know. We sat there and watched that. I have never seen, and I had to tweet, I haven't tweeted for a long time, the manner in which the North Melbourne play, it is. You talk about hard to watch.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team that invites pressure more than North Melbourne, or looks for a possession that's not there, than what North Melbourne did on Good Friday against Carlton. They got beaten by a team that has beaten West Coast, Richmond, and North Melbourne might be the other team in the last 10, 12 games
they've
that
only
they've
won
played.
2 games.
And they got beaten.
Yep.
They got beaten by 80 points. It is... They create a possession that's not there. They give it to someone that they shouldn't give it to. It's hot potato.
So why?
Clarko must be telling them to watch the Wiggles. Hot potato.
So why do they play like that?
Well, if it's instruction, then in my opinion, it's the wrong instruction.
But every side does
You've got it, and people have, and I got a lot of questions from that tweet that I sent out. So let me answer just a couple of them. They said, okay, so what would you do? I'll tell you what you do. And I've always thought this, that you can, as a coach, and Alistair Clarkson's coached 4 premierships, so I'm not a coach, right? But I tell you what, I have an opinion. It's mine. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's mine. Okay?
Yes.
The way you have to, your game plan is determined by the talent that you have at your disposal.
Yes.
You can't play a long kicking bomb game and get it into the forward line, blah, blah, if you don't have strong marking targets or guys that compete.
Or a strategy.
Correct. So you also can't play. So Hawthorn, when they won their flags, they had beautiful kicks. They had Jordan Lewis, they had Luke Hodge, they had Sam Mitchell. They had brilliant field kicks. They had footy IQ on the ground. You can't play a chip, share, handball game if you don't have the ability to hit a bloody target. So coach to the ability that you have on your list, and if they don't deliver that, then you've got to change your strategy.
Well, why don't they? Incidentally, in case people say we're living in... I've never ever said to bomb the ball in long just as a... No. I've just said once you stop and look round who to kick it, there's got to be people up the ground who are there on their merits, and you kick it to them on a lead.
So once again, Jesus. You've got to understand your list. Now, for those... there are players that have footy IQ. Now, yes, these players are AFL players. As I said, the game's been diluted because of the amount of teams. But, yes, they're AFL players. So, yes, they've got talent. They're athletically great. They're this, they're that. What they don't have, what most AFL players don't have is footy IQ. There you go. You know what they are? They're nothing more than sheep. They get told where to stand, where to go. Then you have the guys that have footy IQ. And we all know who they are, the Toby Greens of the world.
Yes,
and you know, like if I'm just talking forward craft. So if you've got footy IQ, they're the players that halfway through a kick that they think they're going long and then they see something present short and they drop it short. Because they have great vision, they rather than do that, they see someone there and then bang, they handball it there. So that's footy IQ. Not all players have it. You might have, if you've got a really good team of footy IQ, you might have 6 or 7 in the one team.
We call that reflex and instinct.
And if you've got 6 or 7 in the one team, you know what you got? You're going to have a pretty good team, and the coach has to do bugger all because they're on the ground, they're coaching, they understand the game. I just think that not only the skill level, but the footy IQ of some of these players is just not up to scratch.
Since you've been on this podcast, I've taken. I don't like to get too acquainted with the game, but I vaguely the way the game has played is it is. And you talk about Sheedy, who's coming in those great halcyon days of the premierships. If you look at those games, the games you played in like 20, 15 years ago, you look at those games, it's just much, it's the skill. It's so annoying that our game has degenerated into rabble.
The other thing that's really annoying me too, and I'm just about, you're just about to turn off. These players now that are 40 metres out, nearly directly in front and kicking around the corner, and then they miss, and everyone goes, oh, no one says anything.
No.
You know what? You know what that is? That's an excuse. That's an excuse to miss.
Yeah,
that's what it is, because then they miss and they don't say anything. Whereas if it's a drop pump, they say it's a poor kick.
Yep. No,
it is anyway. It's annoying.
It is annoying.
It's annoying, but it is. Oh, anyway. So getting back to Carter. So we're sitting there watching the North Melbourne game, and then it's 80-something points. Anyway, fair to say Carter decided to leave halfway through the third quarter, and decided he wasn't watching. So him and I went and had a foot massage.
What's that one?
We went and had a foot massage, Carter and I. So we went to the markets, the South Melbourne markets, to see Smeetsy. So
he wouldn't be there.
Did you meet Smeetsy? I don't even know which meat place it was.
Ralph's Meats.
Oh, Ralph's Meats. Yeah.
Ralph's Meats.
Right. So
Ralph's Meats.
Yeah, so Smeetsy. So Smeetsy.
You don't know which is his.
So
Ralph's.
So I get my meat from Smeetsy anyway. I have for the last. I've got my ham. The last, I reckon, 15 Christmases. I've got my ham from Smeetsy, from that Ralph's. It's amazing, isn't it? Anyway. So Jess goes to get a massage at the markets, which I find a little unusual.
She's having a massage.
Yeah, I find it a little
unusual. It's a family thing.
You're
unusual.
All massages. So I took little Cole and Carter.
Did he have a massage, little Cole?
No, he was a baby. So we walked to Clarendon Street and went to Beauty Nails and whatever it's called, just near what's the fish shop called there on Clarendon? What's it called? No, not South Melbourne. What's the one everyone goes to?
Yeah.
Hunky Dory. The one next to Hunky Dory, the nail salon there. Oh. So I said to Carter, because I know he likes getting his he likes getting a foot massage. So I got Cole to sleep, parked the pram there, and I got a foot massage, and he decided to get he goes, can I get my nails painted? And I went, oh. Anyway,
what's that one?
Carter wanted his toenails painted.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He's sick, Sam. But so anyway, he goes, Dad, can I get my? And I said, no, mate, you can't. I said, you're starting school next week. I said, he goes, not on my fingers, on my toes. And I said, all kids do it, Sam. But
did they?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope so.
Yeah,
so he goes, what colour? What colour? So he picks this bright orange. It's the GWS orange.
Yes.
So I'd had enough. So you know what I said to him? I said, you know what? That's a sign. I said, what team do you want to barrack for this year? I said, we can't go for North. As in North aren't going to be competitive. So let's pick a team that we want to win the premiership. I said, you've put orange on your toenails. So we've decided to go for GWS for the year, just for the year. So when I put my order in for his Auskick uniform, you know what he wanted to get? The Giant stuff. He's going to get Toby Green on the back of his jumper, and we've decided that this year, but to who we want to have, I think they've been competitive, and Carter and I are going for GWS.
If anyone's watching this, if you don't think there's a reality show in this boy's life, the big, bustling, brutal man who took the AFL by storm, he's now getting toe massages. He's got his kids getting their fingernails painted, toenails painted. It's extraordinary.
So anyway, GWS, we want that's who we want to succeed this year.
Well,
I hope they win the flag.
So I'm crossing this out. This was one of my top. The moribund state of our game. Moribund means near death. So I'm crossing that out.
Why even put that word in there when you know that quite possibly that I wouldn't know what that meant?
No, because
is this a teaching moment?
Because as soon as I thought I'll write the 6 things.
What is it called? Moribund.
The 6 things. That's the first word that came into my brain when I thought, what will I describe the game as?
Yeah.
The way it's played, and that's the first word. So,
well, when you're describing something, I'll give you some advice. When you're describing, something like that, and you want people to understand what you're saying, probably don't use moribund.
Well, that's the first word of time I've used it.
Well, there's a million other words you can use.
Well, it was reminding me to say. Did I say I want to tell you about the state of the game?
Do you want people to understand what you're saying or not?
When we started, I said, I'll do this at the start. I said the state of our game is disgraceful. I didn't use the word moribund. I've just used it there because I wrote it down. It reminded me.
Just when you are explaining to the masses out there, use words that we understand.
Well, I'm sorry that I've used the English language. I'll try and use pidgin
I've never
English.
heard that word before.
Moribund.
That's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Well,
I'm 50.
You're on a learning curve here. You're 50.
I'm 35.
So here I want now. I'm aware of your stance on Sam Kerr and giving someone a second chance. Mm-hmm. I want to know what you think about Mr. Bolter.
What do I think?
Yes, he's Mr. Bolter. This is a lawyer sent me this. Go on. Should we say what we're talking about? Mr. Bolter, who was found guilty of assaulting someone.
Pleaded guilty, yep.
So a lawyer said to me, he's right into this, just find it, he said, the lawyer said,
so
he said,
does he think he was first offence of anything?
He said, Bolter, $3,000 fine and a curfew 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. till December. He'll miss assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. The sentence is manifestly inadequate and undoubtedly the Crown will appeal.
3 months is the curfew, not till December. It's only 3 months, so it's to July.
So what do you think about that in light of boys made a mistake and live and let live, or what do you think about that?
I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk about the severity of the sentence because it's not my forte. And can I be honest with you?
You spoke about Sam Kerr.
I think the common sense. What did Sam Kerr do wrong? Seriously, the common sense law that we have, once again, with the crime going on here in Victoria at the moment, and then, people are up in arms about Noah Bolter and what he's got. There's been a lot of people getting more than one chance in the system right at the moment. Now, I'm not saying, but just in terms of his penalty, I just think it's, the fact that they've given him a curfew and everyone's saying, well, he can't play the night game, he can't play the Dreamtime game, or he can't play the Anzac Eve game coming up on Thursday night. I said, well, why wouldn't you just play him until 3/4 time, bring on the sub, and he just goes home, plays 3 quarters.
That's why you're a genius. Lateral thinking.
Well, wouldn't you? That's why you have a sub. You get there, the same preparation. The team knows. You pick your sub accordingly.
Fantastic.
You pick your sub accordingly, and you say if he's got. And by the way, he played very well last week. He turned the ball over a couple of times, but he marked the footy really well. He's a competitor. But I would.
Players are probably not game to go near him.
I would say to the team, I'd get them around. You get your leaders around, and you say, "What do you think? Are we better with him 3 quarters?" And we bring our sub on at 3/4 time. That gives him time to walk off the ground, jump in his car, and be home by 10 p.m.
Well done. So you work out how long it'll take in the traffic to get from the ground
to
your house.
Well, it won't take long.
And you've got a stopwatch at 9:25. Get him off. And off he comes, and they rush him into
3/4. You'd take him off just before 3/4 time. He'd be in a car. He'd be home before 10
That's
p.m.
like when Mel Brown, when he coached Western Australia or whoever he coached, he was banned from going on the ground. So he got a forklift.
I remember that.
And he put it over the ground, over the boundary, and he had it a foot off the ground. And he stood there shouting at people. So he wasn't allowed on the ground. He was over the ground. So that's a similar thing. That's a very...
No, but I don't know if you're being serious. No, I am being serious. I just think that, look, they don't want him to, be missing. He's missed footy already, and everyone says, oh, well, it should be more and whatever, and they'll be saying, oh, of course you are, because you agree and whatever, you're a criminal as well and whatever, and they can say all of that. All that I'm saying is the penalty that he's been given, and if this curfew, there's a way around it.
Yeah.
Pick a sub.
What do you think of the penalty is what I'm asking you.
What do I think of his penalty? I haven't given it a great... The only thing I looked at was the curfew. What is it? 18 month. Not good. No, he's got to work. Community service. 18 months. Conviction. What else is he? What else? And the curfew.
Yeah.
And $3,000 fine.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? That's why. No, but Sam, that's why the judge has paid what she's. It was a she, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That's why she's paid what she's paid to
make a deliberation.
To make a deliberation on all the evidence that she's received. The thing about it too, we saw the video. We saw the video, which doesn't look great for Noah. No. But she's got all of the information there. She's got precedents. There's precedent. But I'm not sure. Does that? Surely that comes into it when it comes to.
Well, if a king hits someone out in the footpath.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. So she's got all of that information there. Good. She would know what people that's gone before. She would have acted on, I assume, similar cases. So she's got all of that information, and she's handed down that. So I say, well, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And
that's what we have the judicial system for.
Correct. And you play until 3/4 time, and you go home.
Fantastic. And if you were picked to play on him, you'd be wary, wouldn't you? You'd give him a fair berth, wouldn't you?
What?
Bit of space. You wouldn't.
Why?
Oh well.
Oh, mate,
there's the fear of God in you, wouldn't
There's no safer place than a footy field.
No, I'm only joking.
I know.
So, all right, so that's Mr.
So do you agree? So, but what's your opinion?
No,
You're asking me a lot of questions.
Your opinion.
No, what's your opinion?
Oh, well, just...
Well, come on. Do you disagree with the sentence?
You can king hit someone and give them a nasty gash on the thing and get a $3,000 fine and a curfew.
Well, it's like this. So this king hit rule and all of that sort of stuff, and the one punch.
Danny Green's thing,
the one punch thing and all of that, which it's not dissimilar to the AFL rules, and that is, unfortunately, it's based on outcome, not the action. The action was terrible. The action was really, really bad. Right. But the outcome ended up okay, as in the gentleman that he hit, is okay. That could have ended a lot different. And if it ended a lot different, then we wouldn't be talking about Noah Bolter playing for Richmond. So, once again, it's luck. Right. I think I've always felt that...
Good. We're keeping this to football. So,
yep.
Mr. Aaliyah,
Yes.
had a cardboard motif thrown at him by I think a young girl, or was it a young boy? I think it was a young girl during the Port Adelaide Swans game.
Didn't throw it. It slipped out of the hand. I don't think I saw that and I thought, oh wow, that talk about overreaction there.
Okay, so this, as soon as it happened, they said this was racist. And they said it was a disgrace, and I think someone...
How old was the kid?
The girl should be suspended for 2 years from going to a football game, or...
I don't think she meant to throw it. I think it just slipped, didn't it?
I don't know.
That's what it looked like to me.
Was
the vision that I saw.
Big news in the paper.
Yeah, no,
Don't worry about the game or who played well. This was a racist act by some blonde-headed or some girl who threw the thing at Aaliyah. How did you read that?
Yeah, well,
should she be suspended for 2 years?
I saw the vision of it, and I thought that was it. I don't know whether it was a young girl or a young boy. I just saw the vision of it, and I remember.
I think it was a young girl.
I just thought that the actual what was it? It was
a cardboard motif.
I reckon they were just trying to wave it, and it slipped out of her hand. That's what it looked like to me. Anyway, once again, it was I think it's a massive overreaction from the public.
From the press.
From the press.
Yeah. The press.
The press.
Well, so did you tune in? I did. Did you tune in to watch the stall gift for the great clash between Lachlan Kennedy and Gout?
I've got to say I didn't. No.
Well,
because
I did.
The reason why I don't watch the stall gift because it's just, you know what, it's manipulated. People fudge the whole year
so have a listen.
just to get handicapped.
Exactly. So here we go.
Great Kevin Sheedy.
Just let me finish this. So Bruce McAvaney's up there. There's 6,000 people. There's 3,000 more people in any other year have gone to watch the clash race between Gout and Lachlan Kennedy, both stars. And what the fuck? They got run out, both of them, in different heats in the semi-final of ridiculously bogus marks that the people run off because they protect their handicap.
Correct.
These people don't protect their handicap, Gout, because they are aspiring to represent Australia. Why would you run dead? And the organisers, how those people ever get another gig running a athletic event or a sporting event to dud the public who went to see the match race of the century or decade is a disgrace. You could not make this stuff up, that people drive from all over Australia to watch it, and bugger me dead, they get both run out by bogus. They're off about 20 metres. Oh shit! If you're running a thing, you'd say, let's make sure these people actually get into the final, and not by cheating, by just not giving someone too big a mark.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I just think the fact that that results the whole system. In terms of what the runners do during the year to then get a mark, but the money's what is it? 50 grand. 50 grand.
40
50 grand.
Well,
I think Gout might have got paid to actually even attend.
Yeah, well, that's
he got appearance money. Which is, by the way, so he should. Well, if he's dragging people through the gates.
They should give the crowd their money back. If they had to pay to go in to watch a debacle of the officials.
How far off his final was he? I didn't watch any of it.
I think they got beaten by a metre each, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Now we keep doing this, or we get the great Kevin Sheedy in now. What we'll do is we're going to just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
No, okay. 1 minute, 2 minutes, because I just want to bring up.
No, we'll bring it up.
Do you watch Netflix and Stan and Prime and
Netflix,
all the other and Disney and all of that? So you got all of that. I'm going through. You're not going to. There's a movie out at the moment. It's an Australian movie, and it's called Sue. Please, you got to look this up. It's called The Red. What do you think it is? The Red.
The Red.
It's called The Red. The movie. It's an Australian movie.
The dog.
It's about a zombie kangaroo called Rippy. Right. So not Skippy, Rippy, right? So it's a zombie and it's killing people in the outback.
No wonder I don't watch this.
You can't make this up.
No wonder I don't watch Australian movies.
It's a zombie, big red kangaroo, the zombie, and it goes around and it kills everyone in the Australian outback. It's called the Red. Then there's called Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and they're Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. There's a movie on them.
Yep.
And they're going around killing people too.
Christopher Robin, who wrote it, or who not wrote Christopher Robin, who didn't write it. Ian Blyton wrote it.
And you know what's really sad about the movie, The Red? I just want to say this. This is not me being critical of the actors in it, because some of the they've got some good actors in it. But if you read a script, if you got sent that script and you're an actor and you're a serious actor, and the script says we're going to do a movie about a big red kangaroo that's a zombie and going around killing people, you'd probably say, you know what, might knock that one back.
Well, how extraordinary opportune! You wouldn't know this because I spoke to him. I spoke to him yesterday.
Who?
Have a guess who's coming on after this?
Who?
Ken James, who was in The Adventures of Skippy.
Really? Skippy. Skippy, I love Skippy.
I wish I had known of this before I spoke to Ken James.
You think about it.
So we interviewed him yesterday.
We had Skippy and Flipper. So we had the land covered, we had the sea covered. Or you just have to go, where'd he go, Skip?
While we're on this, just before we get on to more, I said to Ken, I said, was there actually ever a kangaroo, or did they just put a paw in and someone's arm in? He said, no.
They show Skippy a map and they go, where is he, Skip?
I know.
On the map, and they put a little paw in and touch him.
I said, how did you come up with the name Skippy? Why didn't you call him Hoppy? Or they wanted to call him Hoppy. Just while we're on Netflix, if ever
I'm going down.
You have a reason not to use a company that advertises, there is an advertisement on Netflix which has been going for months, and it's about a bloke who sits next to a boxer dog who looks at a squeaky duck in a washing machine, and the dog speaks. He said, "Hello, Squeaky." It is the most puerile, annoying ad. If you ever think that you should use that company, please don't. Just to punish them for that ridiculous ad. I would like to. I hope the dog drowns in the washing machine. It is the most infuriatingly stupid ad. I don't think who they think it's aimed to. People with an IQ of nothing.
You know. It's unbelievable. If you just do yourself a favour and just scroll through some of the movies, and some of the ones, like I said, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, they're killers. The Red, Rippy. It's unbelievable. You know what we do have to do, because you like eating out, and I saw you. I drove past you and Sue the other day.
Yeah, you wouldn't come in.
Well, we're on our way to
go on
for Easter. We're doing an Easter egg hunt. By the way, aren't they a rort? You do the hide the Easter eggs everywhere, and the bigger kids just run around, and they get all the eggs. Little kids they get jacked. They don't get anything.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Hey, and drove past, saw your car parked out the front of the bakery, of which our old mate was in the other day. Which
Ricky?
Yeah, which is
he was arrested outside that the bakery. He was arrested there. I was speaking to someone who works in there, and they said, "What happened there?" They said, "I don't know. The coppers turned up." Mind you,
I think Ricky's the chook. I've tried to send the chook a message. I haven't heard back from him, but he's got a. If you're on the run, you probably shouldn't go to the bakery. Hey, if you're on the run, you probably shouldn't go to the bakery.
I took a message. I said, "Would you like to come in and give your side of the story?" And he said, "Oh no." He said, "Just got to lay low for a minute." I said, "Well, if you need any help, let us know."
You know what? I don't know the circumstances, but
now it seems almost ridiculous. I'm speaking about this when we got the great man. Now I'm just going to finish this. If I didn't know the owners of the Storm better, because they're very good people, Matthew
Trippy, yeah.
Did you watch the Storm play the Dolphins? You wouldn't have. They
got flogged.
16-2 up, and then they stopped playing. They didn't stop. They just stopped trying. They stopped. They got beaten. You watch it and you think, if that is not someone hasn't got a betting coup on these people to throw the game. I've never seen a side be less interested in playing.
They got flogged in the end, didn't they?
Flogged. They didn't. They didn't do anything. I thought, and they were leading 16-2.
The coach is Wayne Bennett. The Dolphins?
No.
He's left them.
No, but you know the coach of the Storm. Thank you, Craig Bellamy.
No, I know Craig Bellamy's the coach of the Storm. I'm saying the Dolphins. Wayne Bennett was coach of them. He's changed, has he? Oh, yeah. No, Wayne Bennett was the
I don't care. The Storm were playing, and I thought...
Have you seen the Wayne Bellamy documentary?
No. Craig, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Wayne Bennett I was thinking of. Craig Bellamy.
Thank you,
Have
Craig.
you seen his... Have you seen his... have you seen his documentary?
No, Craig Bellamy. I haven't.
You okay, you too?
Oh, by the way, I'm not 100% here. For those, I was thinking of Wayne Bennett, but no, Craig Bellamy. His documentary is brilliant.
I'm sure it is.
And you know what? And talk about brilliant, because he reminds me of the bloke we're about to talk to.
I know,
Kevin
we're going
Sheedy,
to.
That has
Mr. Anzac.
sustained success, long period of time, coaches the way they want to coach, not woke, not mollycoddle,
Done
but
more
with
for
a
the
little
AFL than
little
anyone.
bit of toughness.
Yeah.
And you got to have a little bit of fear of your coach. You got to have a little bit of fear. You can't walk in if you're going to be fair dinkum.
Kevin?
100%.
Do you? What,
Yeah, I do.
When he got
think
that
they
jacket and swung it over his
I
head, they
think
thought, like it hasn't got bricks in the fucking pocket.
I think they feared him. I think all the good coaches have a bit of fear.
Yeah.
Not they have fear.
He
The
puts
players
fear-
have fear of them.
I played against him. He put the fear of God into me. Yeah.
I reckon
I
he
didn't
would
go
have.
anywhere near him.
Is that one of the many cracked chalky
Injuries,
bones
yeah,
that you?
no, he punched the living shit out of me. I'm just going to finish these 6 things I wanted to speak to you about. The Dolphins, stall. That is the most disgraceful.
Yes,
Bolter, we've done. They're Formula One. I know you don't take any notice, and our
I do. I take
Oscar
notice of everything.
Piastri won.
Yes.
They gave. This is how imbeciles run sport. They gave the adjudicators said that Piastri got to the first corner ahead of Verstappen, and Verstappen went across the side of the circuit to get in front again. And instead of them asking Verstappen to give the place back, which is what they do every time, if you pass someone illegally, you've got to give the place back, they gave him a 5-second penalty. A 5-second penalty in Formula One is the length of the straight. Yep. And that was the end of the race. Why would they change that? A simple thing, give the place back and you'll race the person in front of you right behind him and you'll see who wins. You just keep dudding the fans. The stall people got dudded. Yep. Formula One. Now, finally, is there any... we've done the Aaliyah, so we've covered the 6 things, I think. The Dolphins, Formula One, Aaliyah, the state of the game.
So
You won't ask him about the state of the game.
We didn't just finish on the Aaliyah because I thought it was blown out of proportion because I thought the girl, I thought it slipped out of her hand. But anyway.
But it's immediately classed as a racist act.
Oh, please. The point is, how did Aaliyah, how's he reacted to it? Because I haven't seen
he went and pointed out the girl.
No, well, he was there because he's obviously in the spur of the moment.
Yes, that's right.
Spur of the moment, he thinks something's being thrown at him, which is fine. But I'm saying, how's he reacted since? Because he would have been asked.
Have no idea.
I reckon he would have reacted the right way.
But then they said the girl should get suspended for 2 years.
Yeah, no.
Anyhow, now we're winding this up because we've got the man who I've met Sir Weary Dunlop. Sir Weary Dunlop, and he's a star, and I don't think he's got a patch on this guy. This guy is Mr. Anzac.
Yep.
Well, and Mr. Football, Mr. Anzac.
He's done a lot for the Anzacs. Continues to do a lot for the Anzacs. And
do you think anyone who plays football know what Anzac Day is?
The only
probably
thing,
think it's about the Second World War.
The only thing that he didn't get quite right is it would have been great if North Melbourne were a part of that great day, but if you look at how they're going now, you're probably right, Sheets. But anyway, let's
that's it. We're
on.
done. Well done, Wayne. What am I doing, Sue? I'm just doing that.